to infinity and beyond.
Everyone, Roger and James here from the DisKingdom podcast. In this episode, we're going to be sharing our thoughts on the recent Disney Magic Kingdom's Alice in Wonderland event. We did an episode a couple of weeks ago where we did while it was playing. Now it's completely done and dusted. I want to talk about that a little bit. We have said as well just before we start recording is a little bit like. I feel like we're in a bit of a grumpy zone this week. There's a lot of negative news. We've had Marvel Heroes closing, Battlefronts transactions and stuff. However, at least Lego Marvel was a good one. But as far as like this event goes, it was a really odd one. The event itself was identical to every other event. There really wasn't anything in there that was any different. There was no different content. It was the same thing that we've seen before. We said before that it lost its magic touch. Very, very. There was a lot of discussion about that one on the Disney Mobile Games group. Eventually to the point where people were getting really snarky, and it kind of got a bit aggressive at some point, and they turned it off because people were getting quite, a load of people going, "You can't. This is the best game ever," and a load of people going, "No, this is getting bad." So I'm going to be honest. I had some issues with this, and it came towards the end. First off, a caterpillar. I couldn't get it. I could not get the drops to get him leveled up to level 4 to eventually be able to get onto the next part. So in the end, I got in purest frustration. I used like 90 gems that I had been saving to upgrade him because I'm literally like, I've got like 5 days of this event left, and for the last 3 days, these points are not dropping. And I knew he was I sometimes go onto the wiki and look at the missions to try and work out. I'm like, well, I've got like 5 days left, and I've still got Alice to unlock, and I'm not going to get it done if I don't get it past him. So I dumped a load of gems to upgrade him so I could carry on. And then I got Alice, no problem. And then we got into the Queen. Last day, the last day, I needed 5 cups of tea and 1 ear hat. And I actually turned around on that last day and went, I am not spending any money. If I can't do it with the gems I've got, I am not giving you any more money. I've brought Alice, I've brought the White Rabbit, I've brought the float, I've brought the Cheshire Cat. You're not getting any more money out of me. I've spent, 10, 12 quid on this event. I am not spending any more on it because you're pissing me off. And that was actually got to that point where I'm going, I am not giving you any more money because and I'd rather not have the Queen because this is ridiculous. And I actually felt when I didn't get her, I was like, I've been playing this game and I've been logging in every hour trying to get these last bits on the last 2 days. And I'm like, this is frustration buying, and I do not like being, and I was going, I am not falling for this. I'm not doing this. And I got a little bit like, no. And it's actually put me off spending any more money on the game.
Yeah, I didn't have a similar experience, except for the fact I did not get the Red Queen, but I knew I wasn't going to get the Red Queen basically at the start of the last week when they unlocked Alice in the final boss events, and I had not unlocked the Caterpillar yet. I did not buy, what was it, the White Rabbit? Yeah. Sorry, March Hare, White Rabbit. I did not buy the White Rabbit. I did buy the Cheshire Cat, but that's just because I really like the Cheshire Cat in general. It's one of the few characters from the movie I enjoy. The Caterpillar wasn't actually a problem for me in the way you were describing. The one that was a problem for me was Alice herself. Yeah. It took me, 4 days. It took me 4 days to unlock Alice, and I did it with 45 minutes left in the event. Yeah. Or something crazy like that. It was absurd. It took that long to get all of her bloody parts. And as soon as that was done, I was just like, no, obviously I'm not getting the Red Queen, so...
I know. I mean, it was like the teacups. I mean, I felt like 14 tea, and it was the way they positioned the parts, because I ended up with like a dozen keys but no locks, and all the locks were off getting parts for the Queen, and it was like I can't actually get and also they've all been locked up into two-person missions that you needed the premium characters for. So if you weren't playing, it's like I feel like if you were not on your mobile playing continuously, you had no choice, because I tend to play on my iPad. And then I took my iPad to work for 2 days because I'm literally logging in to do it. I was like, I can't do this for a whole month. This is, if that's what they're expecting you to do, for a free-to-play game, it's too far. It's too much. If you got it on your mobile, yeah, you might be able to log in and do all these missions. But it was getting to the point where I felt like, I'm doing missions in the morning, doing them in an hour, sending them off for the rest of the day, spending all evening doing the missions, and then there's a risk. There's a part of, and also, like we said before, I think sending them away for the missions was getting so long. I was literally getting to the point where I was only sending them away and leaving the rest because I couldn't have the 20 minutes to send them away for missions consistently. And like we've said, this game needs a drastic overhaul of how it's handling its characters. There was a problem. There's been a problem with the game of when you click on a character, it then gets distracted and loses where it was, and that's only happened since this last update. And just as a whole, I'm really kind of feeling a bit like this event was. I did everything I possibly could to get that character, and I felt like, sometimes it's been pretty close, but I think because I was so close, but I was unwilling. And it's like I didn't have the gems because I used them up on the caterpillar.
Yeah, and the thing about this one is I don't necessarily think it's a bad event because, like you said, it's the exact same event that we got for Aladdin, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, all these. It's not a bad event. It's just we've been there, we've done that. I am now personally completely apathetic to this game, and I'll tell you flat out right now. As soon as I unlocked Alice, I made sure 100% that I had her unlocked. I quit out of the game, loaded it up again so that it was connected to my save. I immediately uninstalled the game. And I am not going to reinstall the game until they introduce a character management system better than what we got now. Which, well, it's significantly better because it wouldn't take much to be even slightly better.
Yeah, literally for me now, I've logged in once. I'm logging in about once a day. I'm sending off to get the Bagheera 12-hour mission things that I need to get to unlock him. But again, I burnt out, and then this is what happened with the Aladdin event, where I ended up barely playing for a few weeks because I played way too long and getting frustrated with it, which is never a good sign. Reading the feedback on some of the groups, there's a lot of people starting to get annoyed with it. A lot of people getting... there are some people that still love the game and have been able to... They were able to unlock everything and they don't see what the problem was. But I think it really depends on what device you were playing on and how much you were checking in. It got to the point where it was too much. And then that leads us on to a little bit I want to briefly touch on. We had Mickey Mouse's birthday where they gave us a hat and a few things. And of course that brings us on to the other big issue here, which is Frozen. They just kind of literally dumped this it's not really an event, it's just a cash grab, literally, and I'm going to be honest with this.
It's not an event.
No. You got Frozen Olaf Adventure out in cinemas with Coco, or if you're here in the UK, you can just go see it and they put it Frozen behind it, so that's the villain. So you have these bundles, which include, if you've got the characters there, you get the costume and a concession stand, about £5, $5. If you haven't got the characters, they're $10 each for all of them. And there's also they brought back I'll be honest, the feedback to this was very much again of just like, whoa, like you're giving nothing away for free for Olaf. You are doing seriously bad pricing on this. This is literally on the lines of, we know Frozen's popular, we know kids will buy Frozen, so we're not doing anything for this. A little Frozen mini event where there was some kind of content would have been something, not necessarily an event, but like change it. This was just like pure just money grabbing. It just. I would have at least, it's like, if they redid the Frozen event in some respects. And if you got the characters, well, you're just getting points and you can take part in it. And you can, for me, I could maybe try to unlock Hans or get a Sven bundle or something like that.
Excuse me.
But this again, it was all part of the same problem with this game where it's really just kind of getting a little bit too aggressive. And there's too many characters. I've sunk enough money into this game now where it's starting to frustrate me because they're getting a little bit too aggressive with it. And this Frozen event not even an event. I think
that's not calling it an event.
No, it definitely feels like this. And also, I'm gonna be honest. Why haven't we got a Coco event going on this month? Where's the synergy? I don't know. Just this whole event thing. This game is just frustrating because they did something for Mickey's birthday as a little thing. I mean, they could have done Coco or something. They wouldn't have done any spoilers or anything like that. I don't know.
We'll see.
It definitely feels like like you say, we're in a bit of a grump with this one. It's the game sort of frustrated us a little bit. There's this game.
Well, you know what really annoys me about this Olaf's Adventure one? Anna and Elsa, they got decent new costumes. They're distinct from what they're currently wearing. Olaf gets a bow tie.
Yeah.
It's literally the same model with a little flower bow tie, and it's like, you want me to spend $5 on that?
Yeah.
I don't even want to spend $5 on Anna or Elsa's outfits.
On a real bow tie.
Christ, no. I'll get like a little clip on or one of those ones that just wraps around, sure. But like $5 or 120 gems for a minuscule change to the model, and I assume it also has an action or two associated with it, just like most of the costumes do. But this is ridiculous. If they had done this maybe as a mini event, like they had done the Mulan event, you've got two characters, so you could do Elsa and Olaf, or Anna and Olaf. You can get their costumes by unlocking them by doing the tasks, and then Elsa's is a $5, which makes the task easier. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe at least it'd be an event. Yeah. At least it'd be something you could get people behind. This is just like, give us money. Here's your costumes. The costumes don't do anything. You get one special event. I assume, there's no confirmation for this, but I assume that the next major event that will come along, you'll find that at least one of the characters in the event will have a token that drops from these costumes, because that's how this works. It was just odd. It was, the whole Alice was just poorly timed. It should have been Coco or Halloween. It was just an odd, or I think Alice should have just been in the main story anyway. But nevertheless, let us know what you guys think of the Alice in Wonderland event. Are we just being grumpy? Are we completely out of touch? Or are we spot on? Let us know. Yes, we are out of touch. Yes. On that note, guys, thank you very much for watching or listening. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Remember to check out I'm James over at heroiclegacy.com, and we shall see you guys soon. Later.